reminiscing. Come with me on a nostalgic journey where yesterday's hits are today's memories on 2SR FM. Well, it's that time of the morning when I would like to introduce to my guests, to my listeners, my mystery guests. And this morning we've got Corey, Paul and Christy. And, of course, they are here from the Cronulla sub-branch, celebrating the Cronulla RSL sub-branch, of course, celebrating 100 years. So good morning, Corey.
Good morning.
And good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
Good morning, Christy. How are we? Now, you're here to talk about what you do as basically you support the veterans, in other words.
Yes.
So, Corey, I'll let you start telling us a little bit about it and then we'll elaborate more as we go along.
So we're the Cronulla RSL sub-branch and we're based out of the Cronulla RSL.
Right.
We turned 100 last year and it's actually our 100th Anzac Day commemoration this year.
That's wonderful.
-1 because it should be 101, but we had obviously COVID, which stopped everything by then. There were probably some services beforehand, but the sub-branch pretty much started around about 1921 with a small break right up until now.
Right, okay. So what's your role?
I'm the president of the sub-branch.
Right, and Paul?
I'm the honorary secretary.
Right, okay. So tell us a little bit about, now, we sort of, we relate to the Vietnam veterans, of course, as well, but diggers. Now, tell us a little bit about how the term diggers came about.
Well, this is something interesting. I sort of didn't know much about, so I did a bit of research, and it comes from the gold rush. Possibly. There's a few different areas it could come from, but one of them was obviously the diggers from the gold rush, who in the 1850s, or Victorian gold rush.
Well, I'm from that area, so I know all about the gold rush area.
It could also be, there's a lot of miners who served in the First World War.
Right.
And there's also a suggestion that at Gallipoli, when they were told by a general to dig, to be safe, that could come from there as well. So there's probably a few. And you've also got the New Zealand side
of course,
well.
Of course. Now, this general happened to have the name of Holmes Drive, didn't he?
Yes.
And guess what? We have General Holmes Drive here in Sydney, so obviously named after that general.
Yes, yes.
So the diggers were told to dig, and basically get down into the bunkers and dig, and that's become sort of the nickname, isn't it? Like even like Diggers RSL, you'll have names like that.
Yeah.
And like I know there's Diggers Rest in Victoria, and that is also associated with the goldfield areas as well. So tell me a little bit more about what you actually do as the sub-branch.
So we're a non-for-profit organisation. We're a part of RSL New South Wales, RSL Australia.
Yes.
And basically we look after the welfare of veterans and their families in the area.
Right. Do you know how many we have in the area?
We have the second largest group of veterans in New South Wales.
Right. Okay. And so were either of you you're too young.
No, I'm not too young. No,
no?
I served. I
Did you?
deployed overseas 4 times.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah,
so where did you go?
I did 2 tours of East Timor, tour of Malaysia Butterworth, which is a standard thing, and then I served in Basra, Iraq in 2006 on exchange with the British Army.
Wow.
So that's a war zone.
That certainly is a war zone. And what about yourself, Paul?
I served in the Vietnam War.
Yes.
With the 8th Infantry Battalion, 8 RAR.
Right.
And from November 69 to November 70.
Okay.
I was regular army at the time, 20 years of age.
Right.
But we had many wonderful national servicemen because they reintroduced national service again because of the Vietnam War.
Yes.
After Korea, they reckon they wouldn't do it. But yeah, because we needed more and more soldiers in Vietnam. They reintroduced national service, which had a great effect on many young guys.
I'm sure. Now,
2 years of duty.
You were saying you went to Vietnam. I had a brother who was on the HMAS Sydney. He was on the troop carrier and back and forth. And I've even got postcards that he sent me from the HMAS Sydney with Vietnam in the background.
Yeah, well, it was called the Vung Tau Ferry.
Was it?
Yes, because it took troops from Australia to the port of Vung Tau.
Right.
Which was just south of the Nui Dat, which was the main base of Australian forces in Vietnam.
Well, he was on that. Oh gosh, he was on it. I think almost from the beginning, nearly. I think almost to the end. You know, so
he did a lot of trips and
they
many miles.
did.
We got actually our junior vice president served on HMAS Sydney.
Right.
He did a number of trips and other vessels.
Yes, yes, of course. So now with the sub branch, what are some of the things that you actually do to support the veterans and their families? So what things do you do?
Well, firstly, one of our major roles next to that is basically organising and running all the commemorations in Cronulla.
Yes.
So that's obviously Anzac Day. It's a large one. It's one of the largest Anzac Days, I think, in New South. Well, the largest amount of people turning up to a service in New South Wales. We also do Remembrance Day, Vietnam Veterans Day, and we also have Animal War Day, which is in February.
Oh, that's lovely.
So those things take up quite a lot of time. But on the other side, we also provide Christy, our amazing office manager, who's sitting right here.
Yes.
She works basically 4 days a week, and we have a phone available for any veteran who needs to talk. Paul Zart and also our treasurer, Matt Cody, comes in twice a week. I'm on the phone all the time. I work from home, so I'm pretty much at least 50% of the time I'm talking to Christy, trying to work through some stuff.
So if this is your big year, what have you got planned for the 100th anniversary?
Our 100th anniversary of the sub-branch was last year, so we had a massive service, or a massive luncheon, which was well received. I think we had nearly close to 100 people there, a lot of dignitaries.
Yes.
It was a beautiful luncheon, beautiful afternoon, and well deserved.
Yes, absolutely. Have you got any plans for this year? Anything special that's a little bit different to the norm?
Well, every year the Anzac Day service grows.
Yes. And to think that it's been around for so long, isn't it lovely to see the younger generation coming up and taking part in it? I know with my brother, he lives down in Milton in Victoria, and every Thursday they have the Vietnam Vets lunch. So all the Vietnam vets get together and they have a sort of a barbecue lunch, and they do that every week to help support each other, and of course, camaraderie and friendships form and develop, and it's really great to see that they do this on a regular basis. Of course, over the years the numbers tend to get less and less, but it's wonderful to see the younger generation, where you've got the sons and the grandchildren marching with the vets on Anzac Day. It's great to see that, and I'm sure you'd be very proud to see that here in the Shire.
I do. For our sub-branch, we have a monthly meeting once a month.
Right.
And we also run an exercise program on Friday, which I started with a gentleman named Ian Jagger, who ran a strength and conditioning program.
Okay, yes.
So there are a few things we do. The luncheons, when I first joined in 2007, I think we had 125 people at the luncheons.
Wow.
But unfortunately, obviously, as time has gone, we've lost quite a few amazing people. I think we average about between 25 to 30 on a good day. And we also have night sort of functions to capture those working and still serving veterans.
So what do you're like us, you're a non-for-profit organisation. So what do you actually do to actually keep yourselves, surviving?
We're lucky that we're supported by an amazing club, Cronulla RSL. The CEO there, Nathan Whiteside, and the president, John Brown, and all the directors are right behind us. They see the purpose of the actual sub-branch, and the sub-branch started the club, so there's a legacy there.
Right.
And we work together side by side, which is great.
Excellent.
We also had some money from selling part of the club, and we live off, obviously, the money we make from that.
Right.
But we try and get grants and things like that.
Sure.
There's a process we're going through. Sponsorship might come down the track, but we're slowly working through it.
So who would you sort of be seeking as a sponsor, for example?
Well, right now the club is pretty much our major sponsor.
Right. Yes.
So
they sponsor us too.
But
I noticed that.
And this is the thing I tried to tell people. The club, it does have pokies, it does have, it does sell alcohol, but they sponsor so many community events in this area, more than they have to.
Yes.
Because they see the versatile and the importance of it.
And it's unless you've actually been to war like yourselves and been involved in the actual combat situation, it's very difficult for us as non-participants, shall we say, to put it, I suppose, express it that way, to really understand what war is about.
I think that's one of the wonderful things for like a sub-branch for starters. The camaraderie straight away is massive, and the support we give one another.
And
anything
it's so
happens
important.
to anybody, we're straight on the phone. We organise somebody to back up. We have trained advocates to look after their health, and to apply for pensions through Department of Veterans Affairs.
Yes.
These are all qualified people. But again, most of them are volunteers. And we have other great organisations within the system, like Vietnam Veterans, for instance, who spend a lot of time looking after the veterans, and if they've got problems, and they need financial problems, things like that, well, RSL New South Wales also comes in to help through a Veteran Support Fund. It's quite a large organisation, but at grassroots level is for us, and I've been over 50 years at the RSL sub-range.
That's wonderful.
It's just it's wonderful, and it's just been continued on through the younger brigade, like Corey, the Iraq and the Afghan veterans and the East Timor.
Oh, yes.
It's a wonderful understanding between veterans. It's just, it is a bit hard for civilians to understand.
But we owe such a gratitude to the likes of yourselves for the life that we have today, because it is because of what you've done that you have given us the freedom that we have today. And I don't think a lot of the younger generation don't really grasp that, and I think it's really wonderful to see them going to the marches and supporting, because that's one of the most important things, is to supporting the vets. Once you've come home, I've got two nephews, one that had his 21st birthday in Afghanistan and he had 2 trips. Got another one that's in the Navy. And, it's great that the young generation are taking this on, but at the same time we need to look after our vets, and that's something that I think it's very important, and it's wonderful that you're
we liaise a lot with schools too, so there is a lot of interaction now with primary schools and high schools.
That's great.
Which is, as you said, it's really good, because they're more aware of what veterans have done in the past and what they're doing now, serving. We've got them serving in many places now as peacekeepers and that sort of thing.
That's wonderful. My brother joined the Navy as a cadet when he was 16 and he stayed there till he retired. So, there is life in the services for the younger generation. Look, we're just going to take a short break. The time now is right on, 22 minutes past 10, and we'll come right back.